Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Desi and I did the middle grade March challenge. Okay, so I've been doing this for a couple years now and I've really loved getting into just reading that middle grade genre and following along doing the readathon, and since I have a channel, I'm gonna film it. The hosts for this readathon are Krista, Katie, and Amanda, and their links are down below. Okay, so the prompts, I'm going to read this off the note cards. So the prompts are one-word challenge or one-word title, debut, immigration or refugee story, animal on the cover, or books you missed out on. I love these prompts, and I filled 4 of them. I filled 4 of them this year. So let's talk about the books. The first one I did was one-word title, and that is Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate. And I thought this book was set in a premise of really cute, but it had serious undertones to it. So we followed Jackson, and Jackson's family is having some financial struggles. And to him, he sees it in a kid point of view. His parents are happy. Even when they're struggling, he makes games out of being hungry. Like, they have this game to where it's a sort like of a basketball game. If you hit the shot, then you eat whatever it is. And then you're like, oh, this is a piece of pizza. Or it's very, I think, rose-colored glasses, but it's very set in a great tone for a child, and seeing it from a child's eyes versus an adult eye perspective. And now being an adult reading it, I'm like, oh, I know what's really going on and they might not fully understand it. And I just love the fact that I got to read it and have that kind of perception of it. In Jackson's life, obviously his family is struggling. They're going to move out of their house, and all of a sudden Crenshaw, his imaginary friend, which is a form of a big, big cat, comes back and kind of gives him a little bit of hope and a little bit of that child magical realism, just that childhood type of joy that you need. Anyway, it was such a good book, and I loved that perspective. Like I have already said, it's great. It was a great read. So my next one was debut. So I read Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers, and I loved it. I've watched the movie. I did not know it was a book. And the best thing about it that I loved was the differences from the film adaptation to the actual novel, and how there was 2 little twin babies in the book, and it followed along really well with the movie, or the book movie. I watched the film first, so that's why I'm like, oh, it followed the movie pretty well, and it did. And it's a series as well, which I would love to have Mary Poppins come back. It was intriguing that some of the differences between the 2, but it was also really nice to get that, I don't know, that nostalgia, because I watched the movie. I love the movie. So that was my debut. Okay, the other prompt I followed was Animal on the Cover. And the book I read from that was A Song of a Whale by Lynn Kelly. And let me tell you, it was recommended to me by Amy, and I truly was obsessed with this. So we follow Iris, and she is a hearing impaired a young lady, and she's feeling kind of out of sorts. She doesn't really fit in too well at school. She's having a little bit of problems. It seems that her parents aren't fully understanding that realm of why she's constantly having issues at school, getting to the principal's office. And during her biology class, science class, I think it's biology, but during her science class, let's just say science, During her science class, her teacher puts on a documentary about this whale, Blue 55. And according to this whale, its mom and its dad were different whale species and were not meant to procreate a whale. They did. And now you have Blue 55, which hits a different signal frequency, and the whale is not able to communicate with his mother, his dad. He just hits a different frequency note. And that resonates with Iris so much that she decides to create a song for this whale, because they're trying to track the whale. Marine biologists, they're trying to make sure that the whale is healthy, and they're also so curious as to why this whale is swimming around in these patterns and constantly trying to find some form of life. And the best part about this book is that in some chapters you get the whale's point of view too, of like, why isn't anyone staying around? I like hanging out with dolphins because they have a little bit higher of a frequency, and it's almost like they can kind of relate to me. So she is so determined. She even gets her grandma involved. And let me tell you, there are times with me being a mom that I'm just like, how did her parents let her do this? How did they say okay to this crazy trip that she took with her grandma? And just all the things. And I really enjoyed this book. And the last book I did for the prompt and for the readathon was, I believe, Book You Missed Out On Growing Up. And mine, for sure, was Boxcar Children, because everyone talked about it. And I just missed the boat on it. So I read it. And that is by Gertrude Chandler Warner. And it follows these children, and they are recently orphaned. And they're running from their grandfather because they believe that their grandfather is not a nice man. And so they come to refuge in an abandoned boxcar in this forest wooded area out in the outskirts of a town. And through this story, the kids start, survival instincts. And it brings you back to when you used to play in the woods as a kid, or you used to believe that you could be a survivalist. And even if it's not the woods, even if it's like a park and the shrubbered areas, I mean, I just remember having this huge, massive, like, bush in front of my house growing up. And it was just kind of on a slope, and it went on the side of the front of our yard. Anyway, I remember being able to sit in there at the root of the tree and just think like we were in a tree house, but not in a tree house, with some neighborhood kids. And that kind of brought me back to it, because I just remember we would like collect things and think we were archaeologists, and like we're digging things and we're going to find something. And then we found a bottle cap one time, and we're like, we're going to solve who the bottle cap, like who was it that was here and had the bottle cap and all that thing, just kids and imagination. So it kind of brought me back to that. And I just thought, again, it was very, I don't want to say interesting, but it was such a hoot to like see it from an adult perspective and seeing what their adult intentions were behind, because they raise suspicion, as one would, going into town for work, or going into town for like, can I mow your yard? Can I do this? And of course, a couple of the townspeople were like, I need to keep an eye on these children. I wonder what's going on. And I think they did a really great job with the book and the people in there, and what the message was. And I don't know, it was a really cute book, and I really liked it. So that will wrap up my prompts, what I did for middle grade March. I really liked it, and I had a good time. I wish I read a little bit more for middle grade reads, but I did also read some just adult books and some book club books. So maybe next year I will continuously just focus on middle grade, and we'll see how many I read. But I really liked it. I really loved the prompts, and I felt like I had good quality reads. So that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video and participated in Middle Grade March. I would love to hear what you read, or I would love to hear if you read any of these and liked them. So until next time, I'll talk to you soon.